Hey folks, welcome back. Today I'm working on a cat hat. You can see here I've got an image of a felt beret with little kitty cat ears on there. This is going to be for the classic submissions for Christmas. Okay, so I've got my base template here. I'm going to zoom way in. I've set up a outline layer. So basically I'm going to come in and thresh out some kind of a scenario here where I'll be able to see some cat outline. Okay, so I'm going to use a pink color, nice and bright. I'm going to use the pencil tool, and I'm going to bump that up, let's say 9. I think that's a little too high. Let's go for 7, I guess. Okay. And to look at my reference, like to look at my cat beret reference, so we have this really simple shape to it. There's a round bottom and a little pointy ear. Okay, so pretty straightforward. There is some stuff in here where it's going to be a little bit tricky, but we'll try and make it more about the shape and less about the shading or anything else that's going on in there at this stage. Okay, so I'm going to try and create something that's going to be a little bit round. Right off the bat, I want to get that nice shape in there. This is looking a little bit too flat. Looking like a little better there. Essentially, I want to have that same kind of rounded pattern, and then I'm going to have a little bit of this dark section underneath here. You can see that there's kind of a little bit of a lip around the edge. We're also 100% going to put this little knob on here, and I will tell you why. So if you see berets, specifically there's two kinds. So one will have this little knob on the top, and one of them will be without the knob. When you see the one that has the little knob on the top, that is a lady's hat. And the one without the knob, the one that's just a flat beret on top, that will be a gent's hat or a guy's hat. Okay, so this is going to be a lady's hat, basically. It's going to have the little knobby on the top, but we're not going to put that in yet, just yet. Okay, so I'm going to scale my brush size down. I'll pull this into the screen so you can see that. I'm going to scale my brush size down to, let's say 3. It's a little square. That's okay. And I'm going to try and take advantage of the low pixel count in these hats here in this particular instance. And I'm going to try and finagle some kind of a little triangle cat ear. I'm going to use the eraser here. And I have a hardness setting there, but I think I have to select, yeah, there you go, hard edge is already selected. Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to use the fact that this is a little bit pixelated to try and do two things at once here. One is to create that pointed ear effect, but the other is also to create it as a soft edge. So my cat ear is going to have a little bit of a soft edge, and maybe something like that. I'm going to go the other way, see if I can make yeah, that looks a lot better. Okay, so what this is doing, basically I'm trying to set it up in such a way where you can see there's going to be an angle on the interior side here, and it's going to be the part that catches the light or whatever, and then inside of the ear there's going to be that kind of a 2.5D or 3D effect. Okay, so I'm going to pull this down again. I'm going to shift my colors over. I'm going to go for a dark one in the same kind of a dusky pink tone, and I'm going to try and do some of the other texture stuff that I was talking about just now here. Okay, so I'm going to use the same line to some extent here, maybe up to there, and we'll just fill that in. And then I'm going to come around to the base of this guy. Oh, no, not right there. And we'll use some shading on this later, but it's not going to be there yet. not right there. That's probably a bit much. Let's remove that and we'll leave it like it is. And then I'm going to come down to the bottom here. This is going to be completely shaded, and then these guys I'm going to use 2 most of the way along from the bottom to give that effect, and then come right across the bottom edge here. Cat is busily running around the room. Yeah. So I'm going to create a little bit of a lip, the little change in the lip here by just throwing another pixel of height and seeing if that's going to make much difference. Makes a little bit difference, but it's a little square for my taste, so we're gonna leave it as is there. Okay, so I have a little pinky purple hat here now. Gonna flip it over to the other side. Let's see what we got. So I think it's a little bit flat on the top. Looks kind of like a little cat pancake on there, but we're getting somewhere with it. I'm going to erase these edges on the side, and that's going to be in favor of having an outline at some point. So when I do get around to having the outline there, basically it's going to come up to this edge, and you're going to be able to see that same effect. The other thing I'm going to do is lower this part right here, because when I see down here, this straight line all the way across makes it feel like a little bit of a pancake. I'm going to go to that square there. And even here now we're getting this kind of, if I'm looking in the preview window, I'm getting the wrong effect here when I had that line coming out a little bit too far. Okay, and maybe we're going to go one further all the way along here. Oh, I did the wrong pixel. I had 3 pixels out on one side and 2 on the other. Okay, but now the next step I'm going to take here is actually to beef this up across the bottom. And again, I've gone 1 or 2 too far. Keep those ones in there. It's getting a little tricky. I'm going to leave it like that and call that good for now. And again, when I throw an outline in here, it's going to look a little different again. Okay, so the next part I'm going to do is I'm going to take that same color and come up to the top here, and I'm going to create that little knob on the top. So I'm going to give it a little bit of a rounded shape to it. I'm going to include a top piece on there. And I think that's a little bit too far, so I'm going to erase these ones here. Maybe give a little bit more accent. And put that one out a little bit further. It's looking like a spike on the top now, but I think that looks a little bit better. So we have a little bit of a shadow on there. Maybe we will... I think that looks pretty good. Okay. So from there, the next step, I'm actually going to throw a single pixel of dark color on that side. Or maybe 2 pixels of dark color on that side. Let's do 1. Let's leave it as 1 for now. And then later on when we're coming back to that, we can have a look. Great. Okay. So next step here, if you look at the guide, when I'm looking at my guide piece here, I've got my ears in there. That's a check. I got the little knob on the top. That's another check. I got a little bit of shading down below there. I think it's looking pretty good. The thing that I'm missing is actually this right in here. There's a little bit of shading that's going on to give it that dip, to make it really have that edge in there. So I'm going to kind of enunciate this edge right here, and to do so, Does it need more than there's that? I think we can get away with it at this point because I'm only working with 2 colors so far. But I don't know how well that's going to work later on. So we'll leave it at that for now, and then I'm going to continue from here. Okay, so I'm going to save and throw in a new layer. I'm going to call this cat antics. Okay, and my next part is going to be to sample some colors from my cat beret on the other page here. Really quick, I'm just going to take the ear color and splash it in. Like that, right there. And then I'm going to take another color for the top of the hat along here. Do the same thing, just kind of get the color on the page a little bit, or on the screen, so to speak. Pull it down into the image. Okay, so I'm happy with these colors. I could potentially use like specifically gray from Graal. Like I could use my subject matter gray. I'm not too worried about it at this stage. I might switch them over for submitting it, but I think I'm okay with it as is. I'm gonna do everything except for that little knob on there. I'm gonna come down to here. And I'm going to do my outline around the bottom of the shadow, or the bottom of the lit part. It's not actually the shadow part. And then I'll use my fill bucket and fill that in. Okay, so from there, I'm going to take one more darker shade of gray. And this is not quite as dark as the ear interior there, and it's also not quite as light as the other section above here. So I'm going to take that and use that as my under the brim of the hat there. It's not really a brim, I suppose, under the lip on the edge. Pull it up the side. And I'm also going to use that for my shadow, my textured shadow across here. Got some wild banding going on in the middle there, but that's okay. Okay, so coming up the edge here. And that's looking pretty neat. Okay. The next part will be with the little knob. And then I'm going to take the darker color. I'm going to use that as the bottom 2 pieces on my knob there, the bottom 2 pixels. And the rest I'm going to color in with the bright. Again, going to come along with the bright color. Do my outline along the edge here. Bring the dark color in. Use the fill bucket where you can. Some people are purists. They do every single pixel by hand. I don't know. I think that's ad infinitum. If you have a fill bucket, why not? Okay, so the next part is I want to kind of blend the edges on my ears up top here. I'm going to use this darker, but not quite darkest, and bring that in to kind of like soften the edges and provide a little bit of shadow around the bottom edge there. I'm also going to use it on the tip and right there. And the other part is I think I'm going to probably bring in a little bit of dark at the bottom here. Oh, missed my cue there. So by bringing in this dark section at the bottom, I'm just drawing it out a little bit. I'm making the hat a little bit more apparent. The bottom edge of it is showing up a little bit more there. And if I zoom out from here, like if I zoom out to 1, I don't like 100, but if I look at 200, that bottom edge there really stands out now, as it's with a, it's got like an outline on there. So I might switch that over for the darker still color, which we're going to put in. We're going to have an outline layer, but let's not worry about that at this point. Okay, so I have on the other side this ear detail. I'm going to copy that and not impact the rest of the image, so try and take as little as I can, flip it around, and bring it over to the other side here. Looking pretty good. Looks like a cat hat. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my outline layer. Oops. Going to take my template and throw it out the window. Take the purple, is what I'm going to do. Through the next one, actual outline. I'm going to paste it in. I'm going to match the locations of this purple color, and then I'm going to do the 4-step process here. So I'm going to paste one here, go left back onto the original image, up one, paste it, down one, left one, paste it, right one, down one, and paste it. And I'm going to take the whole image that I just made, so all of the kind of chubby section here, copy paste, and I'm going to use bucket fill. I'm going to change to my darkest color, hold the shift button down, and let it rip. So that's going to basically all the area that's selected will get filled. And now I have a little outline. So what's happened here? My outline is a little bit topsy-turvy, which kind of was expected at this stage. I'm going to erase what I did here. Uh-oh. I was on the actual outline layer. I'm going to do erase cat antics to here. Give myself back that nifty darker outline. And I'm actually going to use the shading one, like the dark but not darkest, up at the top here. So this is something that you can pick up online as well. There's a bunch of technique that you can use to essentially use the lighter colors in your art on the top line, and it brings kind of it's kind of like it brings a little bit of depth to the image where there wasn't previously. So I'm not too keen on this so far because it's going to blend right in, but let's see how it looks. I mean, this is a pretty simplistic image so far. It's only got 3 colors, or 4 colors if you want to count the black, I suppose. And the other thing is that my ear is not pointy enough for my taste, so I need to make my ear a little bit pointy. I think that's the way to do it right there. Just a couple pixels and see what that does. Voila, a little bit more pointy. But I'm not super happy with the darkness on this, so I'm going to give it one more color. We got 4 colors, 5 colors now. I'm going to create that outline border that I was looking for that wasn't really there, because it was basically what was going on is this darker gray, or this kind of like yeah, this gray color was really blending in with the existing graphic. So I'm gonna use this one instead, and I think it's probably just perfect. Get that definition without it, you know, getting pulled into the other color. Okay, so my next step is going to be to do another layer on top of this. I'm going to say this is going to be shading. You guys saw me do this on the fox hat that I'd done previously, and I'm going to take it to pure black and pure white. I'm going to use the pure black, and in my shading layer, I'm basically just going to touch on all the places where I want to have a little bit of shading. So underneath the ears here, you can see that's where I'm going first. I'm going to go the little points right beside there. I'm going to go up underneath the inside of the ear. And I'm also going to do a couple little points out in the below part here. And I think I'll probably just copy paste this across because it's going to be a lot easier that way. I'm also going to want to hit the middle kind of part of that. Gonna do right in the middle and the end of my little knobby. And then I'm going to come down here and try and incorporate it into my design at the bottom here. Okay, so now I'm going to switch over to my white color. I'm going to flip the colors around, do the same thing, except for I'm going to highlight edges now. So I'm going to highlight along until here. I'm going to highlight this top section of my little knob and like that. I don't know if that's warranted. Let's ignore those ones there. I'm going to instead look at my reference image. And if I look at the reference image, there's actually this kind of cool way that the edge of this lip is a little bit highlighted. So I'm going to play off of that a little bit and see if I can do the same thing on here. So I'm going to take it one in from the actual edge. Like this. And I'm going to play it till there and see how that goes. On this side, I'm going to come down a couple, do a 2 and a 3. And now I'm going to play with the opacity. So basically, I've got these dark lines in here, this black and white, and I'm going to use it to just alter the colors of the existing graphic instead of replacing completely. So I like that level right there. My next piece is going to be to draw a spare pixels in space and then forget they were there. Haha, brilliant. No, I'm going to take the color that I'd put in, the black and the white, and flip it over to the other side here. Like so. So the only thing this is really missing is some whiskers. I would love to throw some whiskers on there, but I don't think that I'm going to. And there it is. I'm pretty happy with that so far. The only change I'm going to make here is that I have these shadow pixels down below that didn't get mapped on the other side. So flip those over to the other side. Oh, I probably should draw the other two in the middle there, just to let them be there. And then the other thing is that I'm not super happy with the way that this is sitting, because I've got this 2 and then a longer line, and really it should be pulling along against this line. So I'm going to take those ones, bring them down 1. And then on my cat antics layer, I'm going to do the same thing essentially. I'm going to take these down 1 here and erase the ones at the top. Oh, I can't erase that. Ha! I have to replace it. Okay, so that looks pretty good. I think I'm happy with that. I think I'm going to stop there. You got a sassy little Beret going on. There's one more thing. There's always one more thing. I'm actually not happy with these edges right here. So I'm going to go to my actual outline layer, cut, paste, down one. I'm going to go to cat antics layer, do the same thing, cut, paste, down one. And I'll do the same thing on the other side. Cut, paste, down one, and then the actual outline layer. Cut, paste, down one. Looking pretty good. Okay, and then I have these guys right here. There's these little pixels right here that are kind of a little confused because it was going for the ear kind of coming down a little bit further. I'll go back up here. Put that normal color back in. And do it on the other side too. There it is. Okay. And I'm just one more thing and one more thing and one more thing. So I noticed that the little knobby on the top is not really looking very knobby. It kind of looks more like it's a component of the rest of the image. So I'm going to take this right here down one. Same on this side, except for just the single pixel here. I'm going to take that down one. And then on my actual outline layer, I might as well just erase those, right? I can get away with that here. And on my shading, I want a black pixel right about there. Oh, that black pixel was not sufficient. I need a black pixel, and on the cat antics layer, I need one of these guys over here. There you go. There. Looking good, guys. Yeah, that's about it for this one, I think. I will throw some more hats on here next time. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later.